Mike's on.
A little after 4 on this Thursday program. We'll get back to the NBA Finals. We'll have Aaron Boone coming up in an hour. Bill Simmons will join us sometime coming up soon, too, as we get ready for the NBA Finals, which will be starting this evening. Again, I can't generate that much excitement for it. No one likes watching the NBA Finals more than me. I like watching playoff basketball. I like watching basketball anyway, and I love watching LeBron James play. So anytime he plays, I'll be thrilled to be there. But I'd like to believe I could have a different theory about the series. I mean, I would like to think they can win this series, but I don't. I'm sorry, I can't look at one team that's got the second best player in the sport, which is what Durant is hands down the second best player behind LeBron. And then the next 4 players, if Iguodala's here, if not the next 3 players, are on the next team. And, they're all really good players. They're all NBA types. From Curry to Thompson, who I love, to Green, who is a guy who fills up the box score and does all the dirty work and, does a lot of stupid things too, but, is useful, very useful. And then Iguodala, who I love. If you gave Thompson to LeBron, we could talk. John and Tom's River, what's up, John?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, what's happening?
Good. 2 quick things. First of all, I called yesterday. You brushed me off yesterday.
Well, I know what you said yesterday. What did you say? You got to remind me. Why did I brush you off?
No, not brush me off. It was more like I told you that I wasn't second guessing because I said
I don't know what you're talking about.
I do not like the whole John Carl Stanton.
All right, well, let's get past it. It doesn't matter what you like. It's a matter of how he's doing. It's not a matter of that. Okay,
right.
So go ahead.
But I specifically called you about it, and my point was...
so you want to get on it? You want to tell me again how you told me about Stanton?
Okay, fine. But the point is, Mike...
Nobody cares, John, to be honest with you. Nobody cares.
But Bryce Harper, the Yankees fans have to start getting into this free agent stuff with Machado. The Yankees won in the late 90s with homegrown talent. They got away from that in the 2000s, and that's when they did not win, with all the buying the free agents. The Yankees are finally back to the young, homegrown guys. The Yankees do not need to buy free agents anymore. It's not how they can win the World Series.
Yankees didn't bring in any free agents. They didn't bring in any talent from anywhere else when they won in the 90s? None?
They bought in, but it was like a
Did they bring in Paul O'Neill from somewhere else?
It was a trade.
Wait a second. He's not homegrown. Did they bring in Roger Clemens from somewhere else? Did they bring in David Cohn from somewhere else?
You have to
Did they bring in El Duque from somewhere else?
Mike, the core of guys were the homegrown with some.
There were a handful of guys that were homegrown.
But you think it's smart to get Bryce Harper $300 million now?
Listen. I didn't say I'm the guy who didn't want Stanton. I'm the guy who really didn't want Stanton. I don't know if you want him or not because I have no idea. I'm the guy who didn't want Stanton here at all. So you know that I never wanted him here. I like balance in the team. I could develop a team where it would fit to bring in a Harper. I don't have to have Harper. And I don't like to bring in a lot of high-priced guys. I like balance in the team, and that's what I want. I want righty-lefty balance. I want balance in the team. I thought Stanton threw the outfield defense off, which he does because he very rarely plays in the outfield. And I wanted righty-lefty balance, which they have not had. But they didn't need Stanton. I understand why they got him. Completely understand why they got him. They liked Ohtani, which after seeing Ohtani, I understand why. I don't know what he would have given as a pitcher, but clearly he's a good offensive player. I was so impressed by Ohtani's at bat against Chapman the other night. I was really impressed. He was in there against Chapman unbelievably and almost hit a home run to left field on his second swing. He fouled first pitch back. He was on it. The second pitch, he almost hit a home run to left field. And the third one, he hit a ground ball to short, if I remember right, short a second. But he was on it. He was on him. I was very impressed by his staying in there against Chapman. I was impressed by Ohtani when I saw him. And it's different. But to me, I like balance on the team. And I didn't like when they went and got the big slugger. I didn't want them to go get the big slugger. I agree with you on that. But they weren't all homegrown. They made a lot of smart moves. Guys that were brought in here made a difference. that really taught them how to win. The guys who taught them how to win, who really turned around that franchise, were guys like Jimmy Key and Wade Boggs, and then O'Neal, guys like that, were really started to turn the franchise around as they developed Bernie and developed Jorge and developed Derek and obviously developed Mariano and Andy and guys like that, but also put a lot of pitchers that they brought in from other places too, and guys they brought in from other places, which works too. It's a good fit. It's not always going to be homegrown guys. You want to mix. Dan in Poughkeepsie, what's up, Dan?
Welcome back, Michael.
Thank you. What's happening?
Thank you.
What's happening?
Buck was talking about all this thing with the basketball and all that. It gets me upset, and I think it'll agree with me. It seems like all the good players in the NBA, they don't get those traveling, palming the ball and all that other stuff. The mediocre players, they'll get it. And I don't think it's fair.
They don't call a lot of traveling and that kind of stuff on anybody, but they will give. It is a star league. It's always been a star league. Most leagues are star leagues. The guy who's a big hitter gets the call on the corner that the other kid doesn't get. I mean, that's just the way every sport is. It's always been that way. But you're right about that. They don't enforce the. They don't enforce the. They don't enforce the rules tightly.
We were never taught like that when we were in school.
But the NBA's been like that forever. I mean, forever. That's not new. It's not new, and that goes back to the days of Jerry and Oscar. Goes back to the days of Magic and Larry. It's always been that way. Mike in Queens, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike, I just see a change in the NBA from 20 years ago. There's really no post-up with Ewing and Olajuwon.
Well, there's no reason for the game has gotten away from the center. It's gotten away from the big man. It's now about the perimeter player and the three-point goal. You saw a game the other night played in a conference Game 7 final where they took 83 threes.
Yeah, and I think it's unbelievable that Durant's almost 7 feet and he could play from the outside.
Well, Durant is an outside player. He can play on the perimeter. Durant is a unique talent. He's got a wingspan of a 7-footer. He's almost 7 foot tall, and he is a great shooter.
Yeah, he's
a brilliant player.
Hard to defend.
He's impossible. He's not hard to defend. He's impossible to defend. Nobody can defend Durant. There's no way to do it because if you're big enough, you aren't quick enough, and if you're quick, you're not big enough. So there's no way to defend him. He is an unstoppable player offensively. He's gotten better defensively. He is clearly the second best player in the sport, hands down the second best player in the sport, and that's why him being he's the one guy who lining up is going to give you 8/10 of what LeBron gives you. He's not going to fill up every box score like LeBron does. He's not going to get 12 rebounds or 15 rebounds and 10 assists, but he's going to get his assists. He's going to get a lot of rebounds. He's going to score a lot of points. And he's a wonderful shooter. He's a great player. Blake in Yonkers, what's up, Blake?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
What's
Welcome
happening?
back.
Thank you.
Mike, just watching the playoffs this year, and obviously, LeBron doing is spectacular. But do you think that there's any way that if the Cavs can get like Klay Thompson, that he'll stay and maybe they can compete with the Warriors? I know Klay Thompson's going to be a free agent, and I love Klay Thompson.
I
think he's one of the best players.
I first don't know. I can't say that I know what Klay Thompson's future is. I figure he's going to stay where he is. I have no idea. I mean, it seems to me LeBron's going to move, but I don't know. I mean, there are people who pay closer attention to that than I will about, who spend all their time worried about who's going to move where. I don't do that. There are guys in the league, obviously, guys who cover the league who do that. So, they are better versed at that than I am because I just don't spend a lot of time on it. But, I mean, I don't think Golden State's breaking up anytime soon. And I don't know where LeBron's going. I have no idea. I don't know what his thought process is. If he stays in Cleveland, they got to get better. Otherwise, next year Boston will be better. When you put Hayward and Irving on that Boston team, Tatum's going to be a big star. Tatum and Irving, and then with an all-around talent like Hayward, with Irving and Tatum, that's scary. They're going to be tough to stop. Tatum's going to be a great player. Rocco in Newark, what's up, Rocco?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Good, what's up?
I just had 2 points about the Mets, and I'm really impressed with Nimmo. And he's more. He gives a balance to that lineup. But the question that I have is, do you think they're going to do something with Bruce since they just signed him?
I think they're going to put him at first base.
What's that?
I think they're going to put him at first base.
And what are you going to do with Gonzalez? He's having a decent year.
I can't play both of them. You know,
but Gonzalez is having a better year than Bruce.
You want to sit Bruce on the bench?
But Gonzalez right now is better than Bruce.
I don't believe Gonzalez right now is going to put up better numbers for the year than Bruce. I really don't. I mean, if you're asking me,
at the end of the year.
Yeah, I just think Gonzalez has to prove to me he still has that much left. He's hit a couple of home runs this year. I understand Bruce hasn't played well, but Bruce hit 36 home runs last year, and he's 31 years old. I got to figure he's still going to produce. I can't put Bruce on the bench with the Mets. I cannot do it. I understand you want to play Cespedes, Conforto, and Nimmo. I have no problem with that. Then put Bruce at first base. Brian in West Palm. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Mike. I met you when I grew up. I went to Clark High School, and I met you in Dog at Spratt's when you first went on the air.
Okay.
So I've been following you a long time. You're the GM of the Yankees. What makes more sense? Hamels with Texas, Michael Fulmer, or how about Ray or Corbin from the Arizona Diamondbacks? What is it going to take, and what do you think makes more sense? I like a lefty.
There's a lot of guys that I would be. There's a long list. It's too early to get into that because you don't know where Arizona's going to be. I'm not a Hamels guy. I don't want him. There's a lot of guys I would want first. So I could think of a lot of different guys before I would get to Hamels. So, I mean, you start high and you work your way down. I do not expect DeGrom. I know that you hear this DeGrom stuff all the time. I do not believe for a second that there would be a DeGrom trade. I think the Mets would absolutely, if they were thinking of sending DeGrom to the Yankees, would absolutely hold out for Torres. Because they need to justify that for their fans. They would have to be able to make that splash. The only way they could justify that move would be to put Torres on the Yankees. I mean, on the Mets. That's the only way. And their reasoning would be this. Hey, you got Torres in a trade when you made a trade. You're asking me for a guy who can be a Cy Young type pitcher, and you're not willing to give me Torres for him? Come on. That'd be my reasoning. So if I'm the Mets, I'm asking for Torres. If they don't want to trade him, then I'm not interested in giving them DeGrom. I'm going to make it. I'm going to ask for Torres plus, and if they don't like it, then I'm not going to make the deal with them. Johnny in Mount Vernon, what's up, Johnny?
Hey, Mike, what's up?
What's happening?
Hey, Mike, just tonight I think LeBron's definitely going to steal the game.
I hope you're right.
Now, after Game 7, that's all he talked about was his teammates and how he instilled confidence in them. So I think he was like hedging ahead and definitely going to get them to play at another level tonight.
Well, they're going to have to be up. They're going to have to be up 2 levels because they don't match up at all with this team. I mean, but they're an incredibly weak defensive team playing against a team that has 3 or 4 players who are very hard to defend against. So I mean, this is a Celtics got their shots. They got the shots they wanted. They just did not make them. They got, Brown and Rozier got shots. They got everything they wanted. It was too early for them to put them down. They did not put them down in big spots. They had their ability to get the shot they wanted. They didn't knock them down.
Right, but he came back with composure and he hit that 3, and he never let the lead slip more than 12 points.
No, listen, LeBron did a great job. I mean, he's going to do.
With 4 fouls.
He's going to do a good job. He's going to play his heart out. He's going to put up big numbers. He's probably going to average between 35 and 40 points a game. He's going to do all that. We know that. Problem is, Durant's going to be right behind him, averaging 28 to 30 points a game, and then you got the other guys kicking in, and they don't have a legitimate scorer as their number 2. And I don't know how Love is doing. We'll see. Green gave them a big lift. They can count on Green to give them a big lift. And their best team would be mixing minutes with the trio of Love, Green, and Thompson, and then sprinkling the other guys around that. Because Green, they need him. They need him in a big way. And he was a big difference in that series. See, in the first half, LeBron scored a bunch of points. He scored 12 of the first 16 points in the game to get the game going against the Celtics in Game 7. And then he tried very hard as the Celtics started to extend their defense against them and make sure they had a rim protector against LeBron so that he couldn't make the easy drives to the left that he always wants to make. They took that away and said, now we're going to make it harder for you to score. We're going to make you take the pull-up. We're not going to let you get to the front of the rim. We're not going to switch everything the same way. We're going to double team. We're going to do all the things that we need to do. And he said, all right, I'm going to try and get the ball to other guys. In the first half, every time he threw someone a pass, they missed a shot. They went 0 for 11 from 3. A lot of them on the other end of LeBron passes. LeBron had 0 assists at the half. 0. He wound up with 9 assists because as Boston started to extend the double teams and at times triple teams against him, there were shots where you see they shaded the entire court to LeBron, and LeBron had 3 open guys on the other side of the court. Question of which one he was going to throw the ball to. He wound up with 9 assists. 2 of them came on dunks inside the Thompson. The rest were 3-point goals. And that's what was a big difference. Those guys showed up and made some shots off the catch and make. Korver did. Green did. J.R. Smith did. He wound up with 9 assists. So there were guys at the other end of that of the pass scoring. And that's the way he had to play it, because it always drives me crazy in the second half when you hear someone like Mark Jackson say, well, LeBron's you got to be offensive minded here. You can't lay back. Well, wait a second. He's taking the ball. He beats the first defender. Now there's 2 other guys there. What do you want him to do? Basketball can't get to the point where a guy's going to drive 1-on-3. You then have to trust your other teammate to make a play. And in the second half, they made some plays. Now, he still wound up scoring a lot of points. I understand that. So he wound up scoring 35 points in a low-scoring game. But he had 9 assists in the second half. That was a big difference. And Brown and Rozier, many on jumpers that were really good looks, went 7 for 34. Tatum scored. Brown and Rozier, game got too big for them. And especially Rozier, because there's a guy who is in the game to score, and he's a defensive liability. So when he's on the floor and he's not scoring and he's clanging threes, that's a big problem for the Celtics, and that became a big problem in their game. Back after this.